well Monmouth runners perform up at Saratoga. So watch out for the two mainstay, looking at somewhere about 5-1 or 6-1 tomorrow in the Schuylerville. The number 3 horse Pipeline Girl is the first of two runners for Tom Amoss, who's having just an outstanding 2021. I mean, Tom is at 21%, doing a lot of his work, obviously, on the main track. And this Air Force Blue filly won at first asking at Churchill Downs in a 110.4. So she is the only runner in the field who's performed at this very distance of the Schuylerville, which is 6 furlongs. So she has the experience there. She beat 10 runners home, which is another a very good feather in her cap. So she didn't just beat she didn't beat 3 or 6 horses like some horses in this field did last time. She beat a whole field of horses. So this is going to bode well for her. Jose Ortiz, obviously, going to be contending for the title at Saratoga, is going to ride. CJ Hernandez rode last time, but obviously not riding at Saratoga. So Jose is going to take over here. Jose doesn't ride a lot for Tom Amoss. Stats show that in 2020, they only teamed up a couple of times. But that is not going to hinder my basic confidence in this filly. I'm looking for her to sit a perfect spot. She the fractions at Churchill, 21, 45, 57, she wasn't too far off the lead, within a length or two during those pretty hefty fractions. So ideal post position, 8-1 on the morning line. She, in my opinion, is going to take the money that it is projected that the two mainstay will take. So in other words, I think mainstay will drift up and Pipeline Girl will be bet down just a tad. Now, there is one Saratoga main track work for the 3 Pipeline Girl, and she did that on July the 9th, a 48 and 4 work at 4 furlongs, but it was in the mud. Now, if there is some moisture on the track tomorrow, and looking at her Tomlinson figures for a wet track, it's looking at somewhere around 346. That there's a couple in here who are better, but you would not lose any type of like I say, confidence if you like the 3 Pipeline Girl, and I do. I like the running style, the fact that she's the only one who's been 6 furlongs, Jose Ortiz, and a lot going well. Like I say, Tom Amoss has 2 in here, and I think this is the one you're going to have to be most leery of if you do not like this filly. If you do like this Air Force Blue filly, then I don't think you should be leery of anything, because you will get an honest run from her. So on to the number 4 horse, Velvet Sister, a 2-year-old by Bernardini. Preakness winner Bernardini. And here's Steve Asmussen with 2 horses in the race. Now, are you guilty of the same thing that I am guilty of when I see Asmussen with multiple runners in the race? And I think you know where I'm going with this. When I'm going down the form and I see Asmussen has a horse and I don't see Ricardo Santana on him, I go, okay, Asmussen must have another runner in this race. And then sure enough, I go down and there is Asmussen and Santana. And now your clock, the wheels are turning in your little brain, and you're starting to wonder, like, did Ricardo get his choice here? Is Ricardo on the best horse? We know Asmussen and Rosario. Rosario is actually his number 2 rider, outside if you go to Lone Star and Stuart Elliott is there or somewhere else. But I'm talking about on the big circuits, it's Rosario kind of takes most of his other mounts, and then you try to ask yourself which one is better. So Velvet Sister is 1 for 1 and broke her maiden at Belmont Park This New York bred won by 9 lengths going away, but she only beat the 2 horses. So what does that really mean? Her buyer number at 58, like I said, is very, very low. Now, you're going to get low buyer numbers, obviously, when you have state bred runners, because the time is going to be slow. The competition and of the other runners are going to be spread out. And so the quality of the race, a lot of times when you have state bred runners other than Kentucky bred runners, are going to be low. So, she was purchased for $550,000. There was some type of she had some type of a work back in February or March that kind of like opened people's eyes, and that's why the cost went through the roof. But like I said, I am leery of this 58 buyer, and that she beat just 3 runners. She's 8-1 on the morning line. She's owned by Stone Street, trained by Steve Asmussen and Rosario. It's just about everything you want for a nice price. But I am going to pass personally on this filly. I am, like I said, I'm not happy with the running lines. I mean, she has a lot of speed, but those 46, the 46 half put her on the lead at Belmont, where I'm looking at the 3 Pipeline Girl was chasing a 45-1, and being on the length back, I think that would put her ahead of Velvet Sisters. She'll get the 3 Pipeline Girl, I think, will get first run, and that's kind of how I'm going to back Velvet Sister out. But like I said, I am going to mention every horse in the race, whether I like them, endorse them, or not. And like I said, I think that the other Asmussen horse is better. I'll obviously get to her in a second, but Velvet Sister has some run. I think she'll give you some excitement early. Rosario will put a strong ride. She has a strong ride on her. She has a very good post. So at least in the early part of the race, she has a good chance to be void of trouble. And let's see, let's see if she can sneak in for a piece of the exacta, trifecta, or something like that. The number 5 horse is Saucy Lady T. She's a 2-year-old filly, of course, 2-year-old. She's a filly by Belmont Stakes winner Tonalist, 2016, I think it was, when Tonalist won the Belmont. So, there's a lot of distance there for her. But like I say, tomorrow we're only going 6.5 or 6 furlongs. She's 1 for 2 lifetime. Her first race at Keeneland, she was part of an entry. Did not break. She was bothered a little at the start, but kind of ran evenly. Rafael Bejarano had her that day. There's no buyer on the race because, the lack of data they have to compare other races to that. But coming to Belmont on the 25th of April, she won by 5 with Jose Ortiz. And it was a pretty good race. Like I say, very, slow, got a 60 buyer. Jose jumped ship to the 3 horse, obviously. So Manny Franco's going to take over here. James Chapman does have a nice Tomlinson figure at 459 for the wet track. Like I said, if there's any moisture in it tomorrow, that should give you some hope if you like this particular filly. The thing that pops out to me the most is that July 59-4 work on the main track here at Saratoga, which was the best of 8 runners that day for that particular distance. So yeah, the 5 Saucy Lady T, 30-1 on the morning line, stalking style, at least in her last effort. Like I said, I think that's how she runs. The first race she ran, I think she got off a little slow, but James Chapman has some good numbers second time out, looking at 20%. And so, like I said, I think she is a little over her head, but I expect her to run somewhat better than advertised. And, I look for maybe a possible 3rd or 4th place finish from Saucy Lady T. The number 6 horse is Queen Camellia, and she is a 2-year-old filly by the Curlin Stallion Connect. And she's a Florida bred. And her first two races was at Gulfstream. In her maiden, she went 4.5 furlongs, ran third, like in that same particular type of scenario where she did not earn a buyer because of lack of data, and then came back, looks like just about almost a month later on the 1st of July at Gulfstream, and won, broke her maiden against state breds, and won with a 51 buyer. And she's a big whopping 30-1 on the morning line. Antonio Sano is the conditioner here. And since that last race that she won at Gulfstream, which was just 2 weeks ago, there are no published works at Saratoga or nor anywhere. And so, like I say, like Saucy Lady T, the 5, I think the 6 Queen Camilla or Camilla is in over her head. Junior Alvarado is going to ride. And, I like I say, I'm trying to find something more positive, but this is a horse that's going to go to post over 50-1, and like I said, you may get some love on the vertical play with trifectas and superfectas for the 6 Queen Camellia. The 7 Happy Soul is going to be your post time favorite. She's 2 for 3. She began her career on a sloppy track at Keeneland against boys, and against 11 runners, she was even money favored, and had to lead most of the race and only missed by a couple of lengths. And she came back with her own kind, her own sex in the last 2 races at Belmont and won both by more than 11 lengths as the favorite, and is the only stake winner in the race, having won the Astoria, the $144,000 non-graded Astoria at Belmont. Like I say, received 281 buyers, so it looked like similar races. They were both, like I said, won by 11 lengths. Wesley Ward, obviously a 2-year-old master, is going to always garner a lot of attention with his 2-year-olds, whether they are distaffers or colts or geldings, and this is going to be no exception to Morrow. Or think so that at 8-5, I'm going to predict that this is going to be a 4-5 runner. She's going to have to, like I said, I think there are a couple of runners in here who are going to cancel each other out. One is going to go up, one is going to go down. But I think Happy Soul is going to take a lot of Pretty Birdie's money on the win in, and that is going to send Pretty Birdie up somewhere around 9-2. And I think that's going to bring Happy Soul down to somewhere around 4-5, even money, somewhere like that. That 8-5 on the morning line, in my opinion, you can forget that. You can totally forget that. Basically because the only runner close to her in buyer figures and speed figures is the one Pretty Birdie, and people are going to be scratching their head going like, is the rail going to hurt her? Is, Pretty Birdie, can I take a chance? Is she going to outbreak Happy Soul? Probably no. She's going to be caught down on the inside. She probably can't even outbreak the 2 mainstays. So let's see. That's why Happy Soul is going to take a lot of money. Johnny Velasquez is going to ride the Run Happy filly, and she's banked $148,000 in the race, obviously being the only stake winner, and finishing second in that nice maiden at Keeneland. So doesn't have any Churchill works, doesn't have any Saratoga works since the last run, but does have 2 Keeneland works, it looks like. And I'm not a fan of that. I don't think it hurts a horse. I just don't equate it in my handicapping as a star when you have good works on a track that you're not running on. There's a 59-1 and a 47-3 for Happy Soul since her last run. Had that be at Saratoga, she would be a single in my eyes, right? She would be 3-5 in my eyes, but I don't count the Keeneland works Only thing I count about them if they're not on the track is that the horse, she seems to be in good shape and in good running order. But it's not like, she's gonna be breaking down the gate or breaking down the barn. Now I do expect her to not only